Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, author of Epic Fantasy Romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Delightfully delicious. Today is Monday, no, August. It's not August, Jeffy. September 12th. I was really going to say August 12th. September 12th. If only. If only. Actually, I'm pretty perky today. I had a good weekend. This is finishing the book week. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Uh, yeah, got to get this book finished, right? I'm at a little shy of 80,000 words, less than 10,000 to go on Shadow Wizard. So uh, I think between finishing out the chapters in the next few days and then doing my revision, uh, I think I have to get it in. Well, but I think I need to send it to the formatter by the 23rd. So I can do it, right? I can do it. I don't know why that has to be the monster voice, but it does. So yeah, I got good words on Friday, so that made me happy. Yeah, I got 3,000 words on Friday, so I'm really hoping that I can be back up at about 3,000 a day. That is my happy spot if I can make that work. And I just had several really great things happen over the last few days. Just feels like things are in sync. I am one with the Tao. Very important. Um, got spent most of the weekend putting taxes together because we're on this October 15th filing cycle. And I got almost all of it done. And I was so good that I also did like all of the most everything all the way through August of this year, too, while I was at it. And I put together finally, um, something I've been delaying for since March, putting together all of my receipts for SIFWA and found out that SIFWA owes me like $5,000. So uh, probably good to get reimbursed for that stuff at this point. Can't believe I let that go so long. Well, I can. And it's for lots of different stuff, but lots to do with nebulas and then all these different things. And so I had just been like, I'll get to this, had my big stack of receipts. So it felt really good to get that done. And so longtime listeners may or may not recall, but back when, wow, so this is think back to the mists of time in May of 2021, a year and a half ago, when The Promised Queen was coming out. And my agent had suggested to my publicist, who, like many publicists, was not terribly effective at her job, unfortunately, but that I write a lot of essays and maybe I could do some essays. She could line up some stuff for me to do in support of uh, the book release. And this gal was like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Well, she got one. She set up one, but it was cool because it was with Tor.com, which was St. Martin's Press and Tor.com and Tor are both under the Macmillan umbrella. And so she had set up with this editor over at Tor for me to do an essay. I had pitched the idea. The editor loved the idea. And it was something I'd been wanting to write for a long time. And it's an article on, an essay on not how to avoid making your fantasy worlds patriarchal out of subconscious programming, how to tools to look at your work to take out that knee-jerk patriarchy. And so it is a whole lot about how females are represented in fantasy worlds, what their status is. And Kelly Robson read it for me to help me make it be not too heteronormative, to give, because she and I had this conversation many times. And so it was, you know, she helped me make it be not just about hetero women, right? Well, the tour editor never said anything, never said anything. Book launch came and went. And finally, I asked my publicist, you know, is anything going to happen with this? And she's like, oh. So, yeah, not terribly effective. So she contacted the editor at Tor, who decided that they would pass because they felt like it was too heteronormative or too bipolar. Not bipolar. What's the word I want? You all are shouting it out with me. It didn't represent enough of the spectrum. And but they did pay me a kill fee, which took me like 2 months to get to have happen because I did like get a vendor account with Tor and all of this kind of thing. But I got my $50 kill fee because I was like, by God, I'm gonna get my kill fee. So I probably talked about that. You may remember that. So anyway, I had given that essay to Clark's World. I'd originally written it for the SIFWA Bulletin, or the, yeah, I'd written it for the SIFWA Bulletin, and we've been having troubles there. And also, I felt like even if I did put it on the SIFWA blog, uh, I just wasn't comfortable with that. I feel like I can't use my position as president to get stuff on there, especially since we pay authors, and I could refuse payment. But I just didn't want to do it. But I was getting close to that because I was like, I really want this essay out there because I would reference it, and say, I've written a piece on this where I go into this more, and people are like, oh, I'd love to read that. Where is it? I'm like, well, actually, it's not anywhere to be read. Uh, so I'd given it to, when I talked to Kate Baker, our executive director, about it, uh, doing stuff for the bulletin, uh, and she said, well, maybe Clark's World wants it. So she looked at it for Clark's World, and Clark's World was like, no, because she edits for them sometimes. And they said, no, we're not really doing nonfiction essays. So I would say long story short, but it's way too late, right? So I had wanted to give it, there are just not that many markets for essays. And I had wanted to send it to Uncanny because Meg Elison is now the nonfiction editor at Uncanny and has been for quite a while now. But every time I looked, it showed that the submissions were closed. And I was getting kind of frustrated with it. And when I was riding in the lift with Ellen Datlow, who is an editor with Tor, and just fantastic person all around, we were in the lift for a very long time, but we were chatting, and she says, well, sorry, I was thinking about how long it was. We ended up spending like an hour and a half between coming from the airport to the hotel and then going from the hotel to this party, in rush hour traffic in Chicago. It was like we did not time that well. So I mentioned at one point, because she's asking me what I was working on and all of this. And so I mentioned that essay. I said, I wish that Uncanny would open. And she said, well, just to ask Meg. And I'm like, really? Picture in person? And she's like, yeah, and it's like, I feel like I haven't done that in so long. But I was on a panel with Meg. So before the panel got started, I asked her about it. I said, when are you going to open to submissions? And she says, I'm open. And I said, no, no, no. I look at the website and it keeps showing that it's closed. And she's like, oh, if I could get him to change that, I would. Hopefully, I didn't just spill tea there. Uh, But she said, send it to me. Here's my card. So I sent it to her, and I got an email from her yesterday, and they're going to publish it. Yay! So I realized that may seem like, I don't know. It was just really nice to finally get an acceptance on that freaking essay and get it out there so I can reference it. Um, and she made a few suggestions to it, so that's great. I will do that. Um, yeah, so that's pretty cool, huh? And Dark Wizard is currently free. I have a BookBub featured deal for it tomorrow. And so yesterday morning, I was asking some people, because I don't normally put my books free. I'm not sure I've done a free one like this before. And I certainly don't do perma free. But anyway, so I asked it on a couple of my wonderful discords. He said, well, when should I do it? Because, that BookBub keeps sending me these emails like, make sure it's set. Today is Monster Voice Day. Make sure it's set free on all retailers or we will remove the feature deal and you do not get your money back. Like, meep, right? So I was like, well, when should I do it? Because Amazon, one of the annoying things about Amazon is that they do not let you set the book price to free. What you have to do is a price match. So you have to get it set free everywhere else and then tell Amazon that it's free everywhere else. And then they set it to free. So it can take time sometimes. So, I said, well, when should I do it to make sure? And they're like, oh my God, I did mine a week ago. And it's like, uh-oh. So the TLDR is that it is now set to free. So set to free everywhere. So should go smoothly. Already really high in the rankings just from me doing that and not saying anything about it. So all of those things are good. I was glad to get all that stuff done. I'm glad that things lined up for that featured deal tomorrow. All of this is ahead of getting Shadow Wizard out. So hopefully it'll be a good launch for Shadow Wizard. I'm hopeful. And let's see, what else do I have to tell you all? Oh, well, and then last night I went out for drinks with Megan Mulry. We have not seen each other for several weeks. I think not since Las Vegas, ironically enough. We didn't go out to dinner that last night in Las Vegas because Charlie was so hungover. And, and I said, no, no worries. We don't need to go out to dinner. It's, we live in the same town. We could see each other anytime. And, reader, we have not seen each other since. So it was really good to see Megan last night. Um, and we called a friend of ours. Well, first we texted a friend of ours because it was her birthday. And we hadn't heard from her in a long time. And we'd texted her before and she hadn't responded. So last last night we sneeze. We texted her a picture of us having drinks and said happy birthday. Excuse me, I should have muted, sorry. I think it's just the one. And we ended up talking to her on the phone for like 45 minutes. So that felt like a really good connection to make. And the weather is gorgeous, beautiful, turning to autumn weather. It's sunflower weather here in New Mexico, sunflower season, so, which is always a treat. Hummer, a little hummingbird behind me there. If you're on video, you can see her. Oops. I almost closed my window there. I tipped back the screen and nearly messed that up. Um, yeah, so things are good. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe that's asking for trouble, but things feel good right now. It felt really good to connect with Megan last night, to connect with our old friend. Book is coming together. I think I can finish it in time. Um, Maybe I'll feel stressed later, but right now it all feels okay. Uh, Things in Sifwa are going smoothly. I'm probably setting myself up for disaster here, aren't I? So, I don't know. Can I give relevant advice on anything today? One thing that's interesting about the story with Meg is that, and I kind of feel bad telling aspiring writers this, but it never changes. It doesn't go away. You never stop pitching. Uh, the main thing that changes, there's that hummingbird, is that you develop better relationships. You become more relaxed and at ease with people. So like I know that it's a really cool thing that I get to be friends with Ellen Dallow. And that I spent an hour and a half in rideshare with her, and that we got to talk about all kinds of things about the industry and publishing and what she's working on and what I'm working on. And that is something that as a newbie writer, I would not have gotten to do. And it was really good to get her advice to go ahead and pitch Meg. And, because Meg is someone I get to be on panels with and that I'm friendly with, um, it was, it just makes everything easier, uh, which probably is a direct contradiction to what I said earlier. But it does. I mean, it's just that it comes back to that thing, which I heard somebody else say the other day, and I wondered if they got it from me, because to my knowledge, I'm the first person who ever said it. But I actually kind of love if it has percolated out there. But I have often told people that another word for networking is, or another way of saying networking is making friends. And I think that's something that we miss a lot when we're new, when everybody's like, well, you need to network. You need to network with other writers and with people in the industry. And for me, whenever I pictured networking, I would, I have this very strong image in my head, and it's probably from like the 70s, but I picture a whole bunch of people in suits in like a hotel bar, um, shaking each other's hands and handing each other business cards. This is this is networking. If I were going to make like a a Giphy image for my uh, PowerPoint presentation, that is the image that I would look for, right? Networking. And there's a distinctly masculine twist to that. It's like, how about the Broncos? I'm definitely into voices today, aren't I? So there's definitely that particular spin that I think is difficult for people, especially when you're creative, when you are not wearing a business suit and handing out your card. Although we do have conversations in hotel bars, we do hand out cards. But what you're doing is you're making friends with people. And, you don't have to be best friends, but good enough friends that, it's really, I enjoy Ellen Datlow's friendship. I enjoy talking to her, and she's a good enough friend that we could be like, hey, let's share a lift from the airport. And then it just, I didn't set that up with the idea in mind of, oh, I really want to sell this essay. And yet that's how it worked out. And it is how things happen. And I know it's difficult for people who are, um, not able to travel for various reasons. I know several people who like don't want to be in the bar because they don't drink. Uh, it was funny because I was telling Megan about the conference, and I was saying, on Friday that it was pretty grueling because we had the SIFWA meet and greet start at 4, and then I had a sequence of like drinks and meetings until about 1 in the morning. And I said, I didn't drink that much. I said, but it's really difficult to keep drinking for like 9 hours straight. And she said, and of course you couldn't just like get a seltzer and hold that. And I was like, of course not. Like, I could have, maybe should have, but it wasn't. I wasn't hungover, so it was just a little tiring. But for me, that's the you know having those conversations with people is great. And if however you can do that, I mean, it's wonderful that we have um, these video chats now. Um, in fact, that just gave me an idea. Um, yeah, I just got an idea for maybe something we could do to help people network with video chats and so forth. All right. Um, I wonder if I'll remember that. I'm going to pause and type that. Yeah, I just made a note of that idea. Oops. You guys probably didn't notice that. You all didn't notice that. And yes, I know I said y'all. I said all y'all. Um, it is a treacherous path getting rid of you guys from my language. Anyway, I'm going to go get to work and finish this book. Um, yeah. And I hope you all have a great Monday. Hope it's kicking off your week well. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. You take care. Bye bye.